This time, Heitor brought two friends and some confusion about time. If you still struggle with proportions or get confused about whether to increase or decrease, this video is for you. Today I'm going to show you how to solve it, from Heitor's challenge to real exam questions that could appear in 2026. Stay with me until the end, because the feat challenge is what separates those who pass the exam from those who are left behind. Let's go to the board. Let's go. Here's the first problem. Heitor works in a factory and can organize 400 boxes in 6 hours. If he gets help from two more friends at the same rate as he does, how long will it take them to organize the same 400 boxes? Well, the first step for us to solve problems involving proportions is to organize the quantities. In this problem, we have 3 quantities, but we will use only 2 because the number of boxes doesn't change. It will always be 400 boxes, okay? So we have the number of people working and the number of hours worked, okay? So I'm going to put here, look, the number of people and the number of hours. Setting up our proportion, notice that Heitor works in a factory and can organize 400 boxes in 6 hours. So Heitor is working alone at this point. It's one person. I'll put it here. Look, one person organizes 400 boxes in 6 hours. I'll put the 6 here, okay? Continuing, if he gets help from 2 more friends. Well, if he gets help from 2 more, there will be 3 people, right? So there will be 3 people here. How long will it take them to organize the same 400 boxes? The time here is what we want to find. I'll call it X, okay? Now, analyzing whether the quantities are directly or inversely proportional, here's the thing. Look, one person organizes the 400 boxes in 6 hours, okay? If you increase the number of people working, will it take longer or will it be faster? It will be faster, right? The more people working, the faster the job will be done. So, in less time, by increasing the number of workers, the job will be finished in less time. When one quantity increases and the other decreases, they are inversely proportional quantities. What are we going to do? Let's repeat it here. Look, 6 over x equals. Since they are inversely proportional, we are going to invert this quantity here. Look. The 3 goes on top and the 1 goes on the bottom. Now it gets easy. Look, by cross multiplying here, look, it will be like this. X times 3x, that's equal to 6 times 1, 6. So x will be equal to 6 divided by 3. We conclude here that x is equal to 2. Exactly what we were looking for. We represented that remaining time as x, so x is equal to 2 hours. We conclude that the 3 of them together will organize the 400 boxes in 2 hours. Whoever chose option D here got the question right. Did I do well? What did you think? Did you get the same value? Did you solve it the same way? Let me know in the comments. Well, second question, a problem from Instituto Acesc that was on the exam this year, in 2026. It says the following. A technical team completes 12 reports in 8 days, working 5 hours a day. Keeping the same productivity, how many days will be needed to produce 18 reports? With 6 hours of work per day? Well, the first step is organization. We have 3 quantities here, the number of reports, the number of days, and the number of hours per day. I'll write them down here so we can organize reports, days, and hours per day. Setting up our proportion. Look, see, here's a little table. Pay attention. A technical team completes 12 reports. I'll write it here. Reports 12 in 8 days. 8 days working 5 hours per day. All right. Keeping the same productivity. How many days? So, I'll put an X here. Look, how many days will be needed to produce 18 reports? Look, 18 with 6 hours of work per day. I'll put the 6 here. Well, second step, find out which quantities are directly proportional or inversely proportional. We always compare each quantity to the quantity with x, the unknown. So first, I'll take this here, the number of reports in relation to the number of days worked, okay? Look, 12 reports are completed in 8 days. If we increase the number of reports to 18, will they be completed in more days or fewer days? Will it take longer or will it be faster? Well, the more reports there are to complete, the longer the work will take, right? There's more work to do, so it will take longer. So, more reports means more days. Well, when one quantity increases and the other also increases, they are directly proportional quantities. So this quantity, which is the number of reports, is directly proportional to the number of days. Now let's analyze the number of hours per day in relation to the number of days. Okay? Here, look, working 5 hours a day, you complete a certain task in 8 days, and if you work more, if you work 6 hours a day, will this task be completed faster or will it take longer? Faster, right? The more hours you work per day, the faster the task will be done. In other words, in less time. Now notice that this quantity here increases and this one decreases. When one quantity increases and the other decreases, they are inversely proportional quantities. Now that we already know which quantity is directly proportional and which is inversely proportional, let's set up our proportion. Here, where the x is, I'm going to repeat it. 8 over x equals the quantity here, 12 and 18 is direct. So it will continue. 12 over 18 times. Now, this quantity here, which is the number of hours per day, is inversely proportional. So I'm going to invert it. The 6 goes on top and the 5 goes on the bottom. Solving this multiplication of fractions here, look, we multiply the top by the top and the bottom by the bottom. So, I'll repeat here. Look, 8 over x equals 3 times 12, 72. So, 72 over 18 times 590. 72 over 90. Multiplying crosswise here, x times 72, 72x. I'll continue down here. Look, 72x equals 8 times 90. I'll leave it like that for now. I won't multiply it yet. Look, 8 times 90. Now, 72 is multiplying x, so I'll move it to the bottom as a divisor. X will be equal to 8 times 90 divided by 72. Now, why didn't I multiply 8 times 90? Because 8 and 72 can be simplified by 8. Dividing 8 by 8 here, look, that gives 1. I'll put it here, look, 1. And 72 divided by 8 is 9. So great continuing look. X will be equal to 90 times 1. That's 90. 90 divided by 9 is equal to 10. We found the value of x here. And that's exactly what we were looking for, right? Here, look. How many days will be needed to produce 18 reports with 6 hours of work per day? We represented that by x. X is equal to 10. That is, 10 hours of work will be needed. Awesome, right? Whoever got 10 got the question right. If you solved it in a different way than I did, let me know in the comments. Well, let's go to the third problem, which is another exam question, shall we? This is a problem from the IDIB board, which happened now in 2026, and it says the following. A team of 4 municipal guards can inspect 60 irregular commercial establishments in 5 days, working 6 hours a day. It is known that the team was reduced to 2 guards and needs to inspect 80 establishments working 8 hours a day. How many total days will be needed to finish the work? Here are the options. First, hit pause and try to solve it on your own. Then let me know in the comments because I'm going to show you the solution now. I always like to organize the quantities, you know. In this problem, we have 4 quantities. The number of municipal guards, the number of inspected establishments, the number of days, and the number of hours worked per day. All right? So, let's put it here. The number of municipal guards, the number of establishments, the number of days, and the number of hours per day. Let's organize our table here. Let's go. A team of 4 municipal guards. I'll put it here. 4 guards. Inspect 60 establishments. I'll put 60 here in 5 days. Here, days. 5 days. Working 6 hours per day. I'll put 6 here. We know that the team was reduced to 2 guards. I'll put 2 here. 2 guards. And these 2 need to inspect 80 establishments. I'll put 80 here. Working 8 hours per day. I'll put 8 here in the hours row of the table. What will be the total number of days needed? I'll put an X here, which is what we want to find. Second step, analyze which quantities are directly proportional and which are inversely proportional. All right? So, let's go. Number of municipal guards in relation to the number of days. Always in relation to the quantity with X. And let's analyze these other quantities in relation to that quantity. Let's go. 4 municipal guards do a certain job in 5 days. If you decrease the number of guards, will this job be done faster or will it take longer? It will take longer, right? The fewer people working, the more days this job will take, so these are inversely proportional quantities. Decreasing the number of workers will increase the number of days needed. Since these are inversely proportional quantities, I'll put an I here for inverse. The quantity here is inverse. Now the number of inspected establishments. 600 establishments are inspected in 5 days. If you increase the number of establishments to inspect, will it take longer or will it be faster? It will take longer, right? The more establishments to inspect, the more days it will take to do this work, right? So one quantity increases and the other also increases. They are directly proportional quantities. I'll put a D here for direct. I already know that this one is direct. Now the number of hours worked and the number of days. Working 6 hours a day, he completes a certain task in 5 days. If he works more hours a day, this task will be completed faster, that is, in less time. So, one quantity increases and the other decreases. When one increases and the other decreases, they are inversely proportional quantities. I'll put an I here for inverse. Well, organizing our proportions set up here, 5 over x, I'll repeat it here, 5 over x will be equal. This first quantity here, which is the number of municipal guards, is inverse, so I'll invert it. The 2 goes on top and the 4 goes on the bottom times the second quantity, which is the number of inspected establishments. It's direct, so it stays the same. 60 over 80 times the last quantity, which is the number of hours worked, is inverse. I'll invert it. The 8 goes on top and the 6 goes on the bottom. Now, look how beautiful this is. We can simplify this 0 with this one. I'll explain each step so it's clear, instead of just crossing it out. 5 over x, I'll repeat. 5 over x equals 2 over 4. We can simplify by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So, 2 over 4 simplified becomes 1 over 2. 2 times 6 over 8. We canceled the zeros on top and bottom times 8 over 6. I have 6 on top and 6 on the bottom. I can cancel this 6 on top with the 6 on the bottom, and I have 8 on top and 8 on the bottom. I can also cancel this 8 with that one. Now here, how wonderful! Cross multiplying, x times 1 equals x. That's equal to 5 times 2, which is 10. So x equals 10, which is exactly what we were looking for. The total number of days needed to inspect the work is equal to what? It's equal to 10 days. Whoever chose option D here got the question right. So, let me know in the comments if you solved it differently than I did. Wait a moment. Don't leave yet. I've brought this challenge for you to solve yourself. Pause the video, try it, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'll leave the step-by-step solution in the video description for you. So tell me, can you solve this VUNESP challenge? A lot of people get stuck when it's time to invert the quantities, but with this method it's easy. If this video helped you, go ahead and leave a like, because that helps the channel grow. Just like what happened in the ages video, which already has over 10,000 views. Oh, and don't forget, on Wednesday at 5 p.m. we have the age riddle part 2, okay? Subscribe so you don't miss it. See you next time.